Matt Brown from the band Dead Parade in Matt Brown's guitar studio. We're going to do Nirvana's They Hung Him on a Cross, which is, to the best of my knowledge, Kurt's take on a Lead Belly song. So this one is in standard tuning and we are in the key of E. So what I'm going to do is show you exactly, how it's played on the Nirvana recording, and then show you some kind of country guitar techniques that you can use to spice this up a little bit if you want. Alright, so the three chords that we're using in this one, this is just a simple 1-4-5 bass song. We have an E chord. It's just your big tried and true E chord, 0, 2, 2, 1, open, open. We're going to have our 5 chord, the B chord. This is played on your inner 4 strings, 2, 4, 4, 4. We're going to have an A minor chord. And sometimes on the recording, you might notice that he's kind of muting the second string to make this sort of just an A5 power chord. So the strings for this one, we have open, 2, 2, 1, 0 for your A minor chord there. Okay, so rhythm-wise, what we have is what most country guitarists refer to as the boom chuck, or you might hear boom chick or boom tick, some sort of onomatopoeia that, describes the rhythmic sound. So what we're doing is, at first we're playing the root note, the lowest root note of the chord, and then on beat 2, we're going to strum the rest of the strings of the chord. So for the E chord, strum, or pick your 6th string, and then strum the remaining strings of the chord. So if you do that twice, that fills out an entire measure of 4/4 time. Okay, so the intro is just 4 measures of the boom chuck with the E chord. For the verse part, then, we have 8 bars of the E chord, and then what we're going to do is we have 2 bars of the E chord, and then 2 bars of our B chord. So, and then, so the B chord, what you're doing for the boom chuck strum is you're just doing the root note on the 5th string and then playing the high strings above that. Okay, so then we're going to go back to our E chord, and then that's where the A minor comes in. And for the A minor, he's usually going to play a different rhythm. So instead of just the standard type pattern, what you're going to have is, so 1, 2, and 4 in, where you're doing the root, strum, and then and 4 in with the strum again. Okay, so then you're going to go back to your E chord, then back to the B, and back to E for the end of the form. So what he's usually going to do at the end of the form then with the E chord is that same rhythm with the that I just showed you with the A minor. Or you might have like where he's sort of embellishing from an E minor chord to, give you kind of that more country blues kind of sound. All right, so that takes care of the, the basic version of They Hung Him on a Cross. Just repeats the verse over and over again. So some neat things that you can do in this style to make things a little bit fancier if you want, are you can do what's called an alternating bass line, where for the E chord, for instance, what you do is you do the root note and strum. And then the next time, instead of doing the root note and strumming again, what you'll do is the 5th of the chord, and then strum. So would be the sound of that. So you could get that going through the E chord. If you wanted to do that with the B chord, you have 2 options. And then what you would have is either the low 5th up here, if you like the sound of that, or you could go like that if you wanted to. The A minor chord, same thing, you have 2 options. That would be the first half of the measure, and then you could use the 5th here, or the low 5th. I personally like the higher one there because the low E gets a little muddy and too low. So the other thing that you can do in this kind of style of guitar playing is add some bass walks between the chords. So that can be done, typically, usually what you're doing is just using the 2 notes that lead up to the root note of the next chord from the scale. So if I'm going from E to B, the 2 notes that lead up to B from your E major scale would be a G sharp, then an A. So I'd have something like that. The The other thing, the other way of doing this is just using one approach note. So that's a lot less common, and you're going to hear the first way a lot more often. So as far as the other transitions that you'd have, for the E to A minor, you'd have, so that's F sharp to G sharp. Then the other one to talk about would be the B chord one. So if we were doing that, this one's kind of interesting. We'd have, so you have, you can do what's called octave displacement. So I'm going C sharp to D sharp, and then the resolution would be on the 4th string. You can resolve it there, or just do what I just mentioned, which is called octave displacement, and putting that low note on the root, or sorry, on the 6th string. Would be option 1. Here's option 2. So very subtle differences. So anyway, hopefully that gives you some ideas for how to do the hung 'em on a cross. You know, maybe do your own version of it and that sort of thing. Make it your own. So I am Matt Brown, and if you'd like the tabs for this, you know, you can check out my Patreon or shoot me an email, and we can talk about all of that. So please subscribe, please like the video, and I'll see you guys around for plenty more lessons. All right, thanks a lot.